Hey everyone, Combo here, back with another Empires and Puzzles video, and today we have Soul Exchange back in the game. This event only comes around once every 3 months, and in this event you'll have the ability to trade in other 5-star heroes for one hero from this list of 15. In that top row, you'll have to give up 10 5-star heroes. In the middle row, you will have to give up 15 5-star heroes. And in the bottom row, you will have to give up 20 5-star heroes. And as you can see from the bottom, where it says in stock, you can only do this once, so choose wisely. I did put out a full ranking video yesterday from worst to first of all 15 of these heroes. If you have not checked out that video, definitely do so. I will pin a comment with a link to that video down below. But in today's video, I just want to talk about 3 specific heroes, and they are not going to be the top 3 from my ranking list. I'm going to choose a top value pick, a top niche utility pick that I think a lot of top level players will choose, and then my top overall pick. Real quick before we get started though, if you do enjoy this video or find it helpful, hit that like button, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and turn that notification bell on so you can be alerted of when I drop new content. Alright, so first let's talk about my top value pick, and that is going to be Theasa. Theasa has great stats. You do get her costume if you grab her in this Soul Exchange event, and she will only cost you 10 souls. She has the Changing Tides mana speed, so her first charge will come in at fast speed. It should come in at around 7 tiles depending on the increased mana generation you have from any troops. And in that first charge, she is going to boost health of all allies by 500. Boosted health can exceed max HP. All allies are immune to new status ailments for 3 turns. That is an extremely useful ability. And for the second charge, which comes in at around average mana speed, that is going to boost health of all allies by 800. The duration of status ailments is reset for all enemies, and all allies are immune to new status ailments for 4 turns. This is her original version, which is the sorcerer class. This is her costume version. Her original version is a cleric class. I do find myself using the cleric class a little bit more often because of the talents of the cleric, where she is going to have a 35% chance to resist negative mana effects and effects that prevent the use of special skills. If effects were resisted, the following effects are also activated. This character recovers 10% health, so that is going to include silencing and some other ailments. So I like the cleric version because of the mana shield that she has. And as far as her actual special, the first part is going to boost health by 550 instead of 500, and the second part is going to boost health by 650 instead of 800. Personally, I don't feel like that 150 difference on the second charge is that big of a difference. And then she has some very good passives as well, including resist insanity. So she has complete immunity to insanity. And there's not a lot of healers in the game that have resistance to insanity, so she can definitely be very helpful against insanity heroes, and of course in Ancient Terror War. And then she's also got the effects on special skill passive. She'll have a 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts her special skill: deals 80% damage to all enemies, and all allies get plus 21% critical chance for 2 turns. So Theasa would be my top value pick, and also worth noting that you can hero coach her base version in Hero Coach next month, which comes back in March. You would have to level up the costume, of course, but you can get that main version to level 90 during Hero Coach if you wanted to. Next up, we're going to talk about my top niche pick, which again, I think a lot of top level players will choose, and who I am currently leaning towards, and that is Costume Amos from Season 5. He has great stats, as you can see here, with the total individual power of 1590. He is slow mana speed, is going to deal 410% damage to all enemies. All allies reflect all status ailments, and 160% of the damage back to the attacker, and block other negative effects from enemies' fire special skills for 3 turns. This effect cannot be dispelled. So I asked the question, who is the most annoying fire hero to go up against at the tank position? And I think we all know that that is Bernadette. Obviously Amos is slow mana speed, so he might be relegated to just Rush War, but honestly, the more counters that you can have for Bernadette, the better. And there's not a ton of green counters for Bernadette. There's Starlass, there's Limeboyer, there's Zandrella, there's probably a couple other ones that I can't think of off the top of my head. Oh, there's Misty, of course, as well. But I think Amos would be a great option reflection. And if you're not familiar with what that second part of his special does, it is basically going to reflect the painting back to Bernadette. It won't reflect it to anybody else because it does very specifically say in there that the status ailments and the damage get reflected back to the attacker. So the damage that would have gone to all 5 of your allies is also going to get reflected back times 160%. So that's 800% damage basically getting reflected back to Bernadette, or that actually does not add up. The damage that would have gone to all 5 of your allies, all of that will get reflected back to Bernadette plus an extra 60%. I think that maths. Anyway, either way, Amos is a very good counter for Bernadette. High chance of killing her as well with that reflection of damage. He's got great stats, like I said, with the individual power of 1590. And if I do get him, I might not even double limit break him. I might save those 10 alpha ethers because even just having him at level 85, I think will be effective in Rush War. It is also worth noting that his base version is a wizard class, so you would need the wizard emblems to add those to his talent path. And then also worth noting, as far as some of the passives that he has, he does have the ×3 passive when you get the costume, and the costume does come with him in Soul Exchange. He'll have an extra chance for effects on special skills. So when this character casts their special skill, any of their passive skills that grant extra effects on cast have 3 chances to activate. And if I click on this right here, the effects on special skill, he has a 70% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill: deals 70% damage to all enemies, and all enemies get minus 24% mana generation for 3 turns. So on top of the 410% damage to all enemies, he's going to have the potential to deal an extra 210% damage, because this right here will have 3 times chance, or 3 chances to activate. And then I think he's got another passive as well, resist sand damage, and then the Moon family bonus as part of season 5. Depending if you have 1 or 2 unique family members, he'll have a 50 or 75% chance to cast minus 24% defense for 2 turns and 196 water damage over 2 turns on an enemy who deals special skill damage to this character. If the character's special skill defeats this character, then the chance is 75 or 100%. He's a druid class for the costume. Overall, I think he is a very good counter to Bernadette, and if you don't have as advanced of a roster, then you could definitely use him in regular wars as well, but he is who I am currently considering. And for my top overall pick, I'm going to go with Doyventus and his costume. He will cost you 20 souls if you want to grab him, and he, like Theasa, is also part of the Changing Tides mana speed. So he's got 2 different charges. The first one that comes in at around fast speed will deal 360% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies receive corrosive burn for 4 turns. The corrosive burn deals 339 burn damage and lowers the target's defense by minus 10% each turn, deals extra damage against heroes with minions or a mega minion. The second charge is going to deal 485% damage to the target and nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies receive corrosive burn for 4 turns. The corrosive burn deals 531 burn damage and lowers the target's defense by minus 18% each turn, deals extra damage against heroes with minions or a mega minion. It is also worth noting that that burn damage is that amount every single turn. It's not 531 burn damage over 4 turns, it's 531 burn damage every single turn. And keep in mind that that does scale up as you limit break and add emblems. So if I were to click on the base version, even for that second charge, it's going to be 375 burn damage as the base amount. It's when you double limit break and add emblems that it goes up to that 531 burn damage. But that's over 2,000 burn damage for 3 enemies over the course of 4 turns. That is a lot of damage on top of the 485% damage to 3. Like Theasa, he also has the resist insanity passive, so he can never gain insanity. And then his effects on special skill are a little bit different. He'll have a 50% chance to perform the following actions when this character casts their special skill: deals 80% damage to all enemies, and the caster gets a plus 19% mana generation for 2 turns. He's also got the special boost ether power, which kind of works with his special. At the start of each battle, this character will get plus 30% damage for 6 turns with their special skill. He has very good stats with a total individual power of 1631. He was number 1 on my ranking list yesterday, and again, I'm going to go with him as the top overall pick if you want who I would consider to be the most powerful hitter in this Soul Exchange. There are certainly a bunch of other great options. Obviously, something to take into consider is the roster that you already have. So if you need a green healer, then Megwin might be a good option for you. If you need a blue hitter, then Hrothgar obviously is going to be a good option for you. If you want Silverpaw and his lasting greed, then he's going to be a great option. option. This is easily the best soul exchange that we've had so far, and obviously it should be because it's going to have more up-to-date heroes than prior soul exchange events, but I feel like this soul exchange event took a little bit of a jump compared to last soul exchange and the ones before. I feel like this is almost like 2 soul exchanges in advance after the last one, if that makes sense. But lots of great options here, and now I am going to pick my soul exchange option, and that is going to be Amos. So let's grab him. I actually had to deselect 10 other ones because I forgot he was only going to cost me 10 souls, and here we go. Let me know who you all are deciding for soul exchange, and if you need a suggestion, let me know who you're thinking about and I'll give you my opinion. But that is going to do it for today's video. I hope you did enjoy or found it helpful. If you did, hit that like button. Make sure you're sub to my channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.